Here's a stick air pressure gauge that I got from ValvePal. It's a nice unit. It is 10 1/4 inches in length. It's got this nice squishy grip handle on it, so you get a good grip on the device. It also protects the body from shocks, impact, keep it accurate. You can use this on both straight as well as 90-degree angle valve stems, which is really nice. It's all metal construction. Here is the stick gauge itself. It's etched numbers on it. It goes to 150 psi. And for comparison, here's your typical pocket stick gauge. Plastic, goes to 48 psi. Using this on something like a motorcycle is very nice. With the stick gauge, standard style, you usually want to position your valve stems in a way that makes it easy to get to. For example, here's a 90-degree, and I can get in there, and I can get it on the valve stem. I prefer to use two hands with this gauge. It's never been easy to do, and I end up touching the rotor here, which if it was hot or my hands are greasy, wouldn't be a good thing. Whereas the ValvePal, simple, just reach in, boom, get your reading. I'm away from the bike, not touching anything. Back here, again, you move the motorcycle so you put the valve stem in a decent location, but with the ValvePal, I don't have to do that. The standard stick, move my hand away from the exhaust so I don't get any burns if it happens to be hot. And you place the gauge on the stem and take a reading. It's not a big deal. I'm touching the rim here. If I have spokes, like on my other motorcycle here, it's a little more difficult. I gotta reach in here and to the chain guard, move it sideways. This definitely requires two hands for me to do an operation on this bike, get air pressure reading using a stick gauge. But with the ValvePal, you just one hand, you can reach in there, boom, take a reading. Not close to the exhaust if it happens to be hot. Another bike, I can reach in here, put it on right there, take a reading. I got plenty of space, not touching anything. Spokes aren't in my way. If you happen to have a larger motorcycle, larger side bags, saddle bags, you're going to come down a lot further. And so the space is going to be smaller getting to your valve stem. So that's where the length of this is really nice, because it's easy for you to come in to your valve and take a reading, and you'd be underneath your bags. Whereas the smaller style, you're reaching in further. If you have low-hanging exhaust, or you had saddle bags that were down low, you're going to be rubbing, touching, hitting, just be a minor annoyance. I know we're kind of splitting hairs here, but it's the realities. But those aren't the reasons why I like the ValvePal unit. The reason why I think this is a far better unit, a superior unit, is because of its accuracy. And I'll give you a little demonstration here. Now the ValvePal is, or can be, calibrated. My unit came to me calibrated at 40 psi. At the end of the ValvePal unit is a screw inside there. And sorry that my camera is not auto-focusing, but trust me, there's an adjustment screw inside there. By turning that screw clockwise or counterclockwise, you can affect the pressure reading by 1.7 psi. So if you have a car or motorcycle like me, set to calibrate it to 40 psi, you're good to go. If you have a big rig, whatever its pressure may be, I don't know what an 18-wheeler runs or an RV, but you calibrate to that pressure, and that way, when you take a reading, it'll always be accurate. And that's the very nice thing about this ValvePal tool, is that if you drop it, you think the pressure reading is inaccurate, you just take it to a known source, and then adjust the adjustment screw to get a proper reading. Here is a trailer tire of mine, and it is at 36 psi. And this is the gauge I normally use for checking stuff because it's accurate. Here we go with the ValvePal. And it is showing 32.46. Right there, see that? 36. And then we take your pocket style. And it's showing me a reading of 40, oh my gosh, 41, 2, 3, 43, 43 and a half, maybe 44 psi. Gotta get a better look at this. Yep, there's 44 right there. There's 40. It was right in there, so 43.5 psi. So 43.5 psi or 36 psi. Also, what's nice about the ValvePal is that it isn't very big. Granted, it is larger. You have your standard stick gauge, your inaccurate stick gauge. But the stick gauge can fit in a glove box or in the side pocket of a car, even the pretty itty bitty space of a Ducati Diavol Pannier. It'll fit inside there and not take up much space. As for this little guy, not very accurate. I'm not going to use it anymore because inaccurate tire pressure can lead to increased gas mileage as well as increased tire wear. So the best place I found to store one of these little units is right here in the garbage. So if you're looking for a stick air pressure gauge that you can use for the rest of your life, that is very accurate and that can be calibrated, you can't go wrong with the ValvePal unit.